Hey guys, welcome back to the AWS Cloud Demos. My name is Murli, and in today's demo, we will continue our Terraform videos. So today we will be talking about how we are going to create RDS database using the Secrets Manager. So how we're going to store our credentials in our Secrets Manager and how the integration works. We will look into that in using the Terraform code. Okay, so RDS allows you to store the database credentials such as username, passwords securely in the AWS Secret Manager. So this integration is particularly valuable for managing sensitive information associated with the RDS instances. Okay, so some of the benefits of this integration is basically you have enhanced security. So Secrets Manager provides a secure and centralized location for storing sensitive information. So you have automatic rotation. AWS Secrets Manager facilitates automatic rotation of RDS credentials, reducing the risk associated with the static credentials. Okay, so and also fine-grained access control. For example, the Secrets Manager allows you to control access to secrets using AWS Identity and Access Management (IAM) policies. Okay, so the Terraform integration. So Terraform, as you know, the infrastructure as code tool, so can be used to define and manage RDS instances along with their associated secret manager secrets. Okay, so using AWS Secret Manager, and we'll see how we're going to do that in the demo. Okay, and also the Terraform resource is employed to create to create and manage the secrets in the Secrets Manager. Okay, so we will look into that in a bit, and also the secret. We have also talked about secret rotation, and it can be automatically done and configure, and the policies are configurable, and the automatic rotation enhances the security as we have discussed, and also the audit and compliance. So RDS with Secrets Manager helps meet audit and compliance requirements by providing a centralized and auditable record of credentials. Okay, so all right, so we have already seen how we have created our VPC in our previous demo of Terraform series. So you must have already watched that video. Otherwise, please go ahead and watch that videos for any Terraform basics. But here, I'm going to purely focus on creating a database instance and also creating a secrets in the Secrets Manager, so that we will see how the integration works. Okay, and okay, so before we head to the demo, I would like to request you to like this video, and also please subscribe to my channel. We will have a bunch of videos coming up. We have a lot of projects which are coming soon, and yeah, let's head to the demo. And yeah, so I've already created a main.tf file here in my repository. So what we're going to do now is we will be starting our required provider with the AWS, and also we will store our Terraform state in the backend S3 bucket instead of storing local, because we are using a Secrets Manager secret string, so that we don't expose that secret string in our Terraform state. So okay, make sure your Terraform state file is secure enough. Okay, so and now that we will start with the required provider. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the Terraform docs, and I'm going to quick click on the AWS provider. So in here, so you can simply copy that bit. For you, it makes a bit easier. So in the main file, just copy paste that thing, and also make sure the version whatever you're using, make sure it is latest, or maybe you can simply use this, but in my case I'm just going to use 5.9.0. And then my AWS provider is the region is US East 1, so make sure you change the region as well in case your region is something else, like something AP Southeast 1 or something like that. So maybe you can use that, and then we will see how we're gonna implement the backend S3 integration after the required provider. So you can simply mention backend. So let me simply type backend S3. All right, and then I'm gonna use bucket. Oops, just undo that, and I've already created my bucket to store my Terraform state. So I'm gonna simply copy the name over here and paste it in there. So that's my bucket name where I'm going to store my Terraform state, and the key is going to be, my object key is going to be something like RDF state. So RDS state is my folder, and in which I have my Terraform state file where I want to maintain my current Terraform state. And again, the region is US East 1. Okay, so All right, so now that we have created our basics of main.terraform file, where we have declared our backend Terraform state file, and also we have created our required provider and also the region, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do Terraform validate just to make sure that my Terraform file is correct. Registry, or maybe we haven't run Terraform init yet. I think there's a typo. Terraform init, and that's going to initialize my Terraform in this repository. So once the Terraform is initialized, you will see the .terraform file, Terraform's folder. Yeah, that's how it also created my log file, which logs the version with the current Terraform that we are trying to use. Now let's clear this. I hope this is visible. Now I'm gonna do Terraform validate just to make sure my configuration is valid. Yeah, there you go, my configuration is valid. So now what I'm going to do is we will be creating our secrets manager secret, okay, using some random password, or maybe you can declare your own password. But in this demo I'm going to show you a resource called random password, where you can use it for your secrets. All right, and then I'm also going to encrypt my password using my secret using the KMS key, so that always your secrets will be encrypted. All right, so AWS KMS key is nothing but AWS KMS is nothing but the key management service from AWS again. So we will talk about KMS key in a separate video, where I would like to demonstrate how we're gonna create a customer managed key, or AWS managed key. We will talk about that a bit later, okay? But for this demo, just keep in mind that we are using a KMS key, which is nothing but an encryption key in order to encrypt our secrets, okay? So how we are going to create the KMS key? So let's start by creating a file called kms key dot terraform file. So in here, all right, so in the KMS key, we're going to use df AWS resource KMS key. Probably we're going to use this one. So you can see this is our resource which we are trying to create, and maybe I can name this as default key, and then we're going to say KMS key for our RDS, and then deletion window 10 days, maybe just put 7. I'm going to explain this code a bit later, and then I'm going to use enabled, probably I'm going to use is enabled true, and then enable key, oops, I'm so sorry, and enable key rotation is going to be true again. Also, if you want, you can provide tags, which is nothing but I'm going to use Terraform AWS RDS Secrets Manager. Okay, so I'm going to use a tag called Terraform. It's up to you. Naming is completely up to you. So it's just the thing that I would like to use in my case. Okay, so probably you're going to use the same thing for your example as well. Okay, so now that we have created a KMS key, we have enabled the rotation, as well as we have also delete window, which is nothing but you basically define the duration in days. So basically this is in days, okay, and then that which means KMS key is retained after the deletion of how many days the KMS key is retained after the deletion. In this case it is set to 7. Okay, so is enabled is nothing but whether the KMS key is enabled or not. It's as simple as that. And then also the key rotation, like I said, after the automatic key rotation which supports in the KMS key, which will be your password will be rotated. And then also the Terraform configuration which creates the KMS key with these specified attributes, providing a secure key management for the other AWS resources as well, such as RDS, as we have indicated in this description. All right, and also it's worth noting that KMS key is a fundamental concept of encrypting and decrypting data in the AWS, and the provided configuration ensures that the certain settings and tags, make sure that we have some kind of a tag so that you identify which is maintained by the Terraform code itself. So okay, all right, so let's move on. So we have now created our KMS key, which is fine, and then so we're going to be using this KMS key in order to encrypt our secrets manager, right? So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to create our secrets manager, secrets tf. So in the secrets manager.tf, like I said, we will be using a resource called random password, or maybe you can simply say resource random password. The length of the password that I'm gonna use is gonna be 16, and my password includes special characters, and then I have special. I want to use special characters. Override special equals underscore. I'm going to use some special characters, but it's totally up to you if you want to use this random password or maybe a normal password that you want to have your own password. You can declare it, but in my case I'm just doing the random password. Okay, so probably it's going to be helpful for you as well. All right, so now let's create a resource. All right, the AWS Secrets Manager secret, which is, let's go ahead and search for AWS Secrets Manager. Oops, maybe Secrets Manager, and then secret. Let's find out. Probably this one, Secrets Manager Resources Secret, probably this one. And you can see we have our Secrets Manager secret, and we will be using the KMS key. So you can see the KMS key that we have created. We can use the KMS key ID to encrypt our secret, and also we have a policy, and we have recovery window in days, which is number of days that AWS Secrets Manager waits before it can be deleted, right? And then which can be set from 7 to 30 days. All right, probably we will be using it. Okay, let's go ahead and create our resource right now. tf AWS resource secrets manager secret. Okay, there you go. And now I'm gonna name this something called RDS admin or something. You can give your name, but in my case I'm gonna give something random name as well, and I'm gonna give KMS key ID. KMS key ID is nothing but AWS KMS key dot default dot key underscore ID. Okay, so you might be wondering where you're getting this default from. So if you go back here, so we have named this as default AWS KMS key dot default dot ID from this resource. Okay, so we are referencing this AWS KMS key in our secret manager. So like you see here, and that's how we are referencing our KMS key. Okay, and now I'm gonna give some description. It's up to you, but it's not mandatory. Admin password, and then I'm gonna give recovery window. Basically I'm using the arguments that we have here. I'm just gonna copy that, those. So I'm gonna retain it for 14 days before deletion, and then I'm gonna have my tags again, which is important. I think I can use the same one which I have created here. I'm going to use the same tag for convenience sake. Okay, so just override. Probably our file looks like a junk right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Terraform format, which should automatically format your Terraform files, okay, like we have seen here now. So which has automatically formatted my file, right? So we have created our secret using, and also we have used the encryption key. Okay, and now we're going to be creating our version secret version, okay, so that our secret can have versions, so we can make sure that we can use a specific version of our secret. Okay, so how are we going to do that? So we'll simply do resource tf AWS resource secret manager, probably this one. Hang on a sec. That's a policy. I think you undo that secrets. This one, secret rotation, that's fine. Secrets, and then what about this one? Yeah, secret version. So basically we are going to create a version of our secret, just this one. Okay, I'm gonna name this as secret. So secret ID, secret string, and we're going to be using secret manager secret dot example dot id is what I'm going to refer to, and the secret string is going to be our special secret which we have created in the random password, right? So I'm going to use the random password dot password dot result. Okay, so we are going to use the secret random password that we have generated above to as our secret, which has a specific version. Okay, so basically that's what we are trying to do here. We have successfully created a secret, and we have used an encryption key to encrypt our secret, and we have created a version out of our secret, right? So that's all. That's pretty much what we are going to do in the secrets manager. Okay, so now that we are done with our secrets manager and the KMS key, so also we have created our provider. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create our main RDS file. Okay, so RDS.terraform file. So here we're gonna create our RDS database. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is let's go back to the Terraform documentation and just type AWS underscore DB underscore instance. Okay, so now if you expand data sources, probably you're gonna go to RDS. Yeah, make sure you're in the RDS resources and AWS DB instance. So click on that. So you should be able to go down a bit and see how we're going to create. So there you go. So this is an example of how you create a RDS database instance using MySQL version numbers 5.7. We are using the instance class, the version, the EC2 instance type that we are going to use is dbt3.micro. This is an example one to create a MySQL database. Okay, so we're going to be creating a MariaDB or something like that today, or maybe you can use these Terraform code to create whatever the database you like, right? So it should be easy peasy. Okay, now looking at this example, and there's a lot of documentation if you want to read, but I'm going to use most of it, and then I've already created something for the demo purpose where I have created this already. Okay, so let me go to the RDS database, and one more thing I want to discuss is in Secret Manager we have created these resources, right? So we have created these resources, and in RDS we're going to use these values. So we're going to get a value out of these resources from our Secrets Manager, and then we will use that as a password for creating our database username and password. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a data resources, which is nothing but tf AWS data, and then I'm going to use AWS secrets manager secret. Okay, so this is a data type that we have, data resource. Okay, and now I'm going to create this as example, and then we're gonna name this as RDS admin 7. I think we named something like 7, I believe, somewhere in our secrets manager. Yeah, there you go. So we're going to use the same name that we have created here. So we are basically retrieving the value now in the data. Okay, so which actually depends on our AWS secret manager secret dot example, right? So this is what we have created here. So this is basically the resource. Yeah, and we have created a secrets manager secret resource, and now in here we are trying to retrieve that value. Okay, so which is actually based upon this one. So this means we want to create the resource first and then retrieve the value later, okay, as a part of this data. Okay, and I hope that's clear. And let's move on to data. Okay, so let me create a secret version. Okay, something like this. I'm just gonna simply copy paste. So here you can see this is our secret manager. Again, we want to try to retrieve this specific version where we have created, for example, the secret version, right? So the data dot AWS Secrets Manager secret, and then the example dot ID, which is basically this value, yeah, and we are retrieving the specific version over here. Now let's go ahead and create our database, AWS database instance. Okay, so how are we going to create it? Again, tf AWS d resource AWS db instance. Okay, so you go, there you go. So now that you can see that we are trying to create our AWS DB instance. Okay, we're gonna name this something like my database, and we're gonna be using GP2, which is general purpose. We're gonna be using the storage type. Where's the storage type? Probably you can give something like storage type, which is nothing but our GP2. And then if you want, you can run Terraform format, or maybe you can right click and format it, or maybe if you are using some kind of extensions that I have used, it should automatically format it. But in my case, for some reason it doesn't format automatically, but you should be able to do it if you have this Terraform format on save, which should automatically format your Terraform code. Okay, so make sure you have those extensions installed, yeah. And then already I have created this database instance in my local. So before that, we're going to create some variables. Okay, so we haven't looked into the variables in previous Terraform video, so we will be discussing about the variables now, so that we will be using some of these instance class, database names, and the engine version. So if we have these variables, for example, if you want to create a MariaDB or if you want to create Oracle DB, it will be easy for you. Just replace this engine and engine version, and we'll see how it's going to look like. Now create a variables .terraform file, and I've already created my variables in my I've already created my variables. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply copy paste my variables, and just to save some time so that you can have a look, I'm going to walk you through these variables. So basically allocated storage is nothing but the default DB instance storage, which is nothing but 20, which is of type number. And then we also, like I said, we are using engine and engine version over here. So we're going to move these things into variables like these. So engine version, you can see I'm using MariaDB, and then I'm using the specific version of MariaDB, which is 10.4.25. You can probably, if you want, you can use MySQL, and you can also use 5. You can also change this to version 5.7. I think that's the latest one. If you go back here, probably in the documentation, it clearly says something like 5.7 or something. So maybe you can use these if you want to create, but in my case I'm just using MariaDB. But I hope you get the idea. I think please don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and please don't forget to like this video. Okay, let's continue. And now if you instance class is dbt4g small, so I'm going to use this type. Okay, so I think you can ignore this t3 dot micro, which is for MySQL. But in my case I'm using MariaDB, but you can still use this, but I believe small should be fine for me, so that's why I'm using dbt4g small. Okay, it's up to you. It depends on what you are looking after, right? So if you want a compute capacity, or if you want something like that, then you probably choose the right instance class for your DB. Okay, so make sure you are using the right one. And then the default tag, which is simply a default tag, the Terraform, so we can tag all these resources with this default tag, whatever the resources, so that we should be able to track all the resources with this particular tag. Okay, now in RDS, in variables, so we have already created our variables, and we'll see how we're going to use. So for example, in engine, how we're going to use engine, it's simple. Now go back to the engine here, so make sure you simply replace that by var.engine. So we should automatically create the we should automatically get the MariaDB engine, right? And now I've already created these resources in the background just to save some time. So I've already created that, and I'll copy paste my AWS DB instance, paste that. Okay, so as you can see, we are trying to create AWS DB instance with the name my database, yeah. And then we are using the allocated storage, which is simply nothing but our allocated storage, which is 20, the default value, yeah. So you can see we are allocated storage, and then storage type is general purpose storage type, yeah, GP2. And make sure you use these engine versions. You can see I've already declared my engine version. I'm using MariaDB and the version, okay. And then this is my username. Also you can try whatever you would like to try, okay. And then this is my secrets manager. You remember we have created our data source which has the value, so we are using the secrets manager secret version secret dot secret string. Secret string is nothing but where you have the value that is stored in the AWS secrets manager. And then parameter group, you can also specify the parameter group. And then in my case, I'm not using multi availability zone, so I'm just using false. And then I'm just saying that my storage is encrypted. It's a best practice when you have sensitive information. Just make sure your data is encrypted at rest, and also in transit, okay. And also backup retention period 7. So you can refer to this documentation here, so that you should be able to understand these values. For example, let's say I want to find out what exactly is this backup retention period, so I'm going to just find it over here. Yeah, so this is nothing but the days to retain the backups for, okay. So for example, on an average, you would like to take your backup of your database every now and then, right, to make sure that you don't lose your data in your database, right? So that's how you're going to mention that how many days you want to retain the backups for, right? So in my case, I'm going to retain it for 7 days, yeah. So yeah, and also we have mentioned that the default tag that I have created here, which is nothing but our Terraform AWS RDS Secrets Manager, right? I think we have also used this here, so probably we can use this variable in here if you would like. Copy that, KMS key, and just get rid of that stuff. We can use the same tag, that's totally fine. And then in Secrets Manager, did we use that? Yes, we did. And then remove that. Hopefully that should be fine. And then yeah, I think that looks good. We have created a provider. We have our region US East 1. We have created our KMS key, which we'll be using it for Secrets Manager. We have created our secret, and then we are going to get that secret in our data sources over here. And then we will be using that secret, which is as a password for our AWS database instance of type MariaDB. And yeah, I think that looks good. So what we're going to do now is we will be running Terraform format again, okay, just to make sure everything is good. And I'm going to say Terraform init, and I'm going to do Terraform plan. All right, so basically plan tells you what you're trying to create in your infrastructure even before applying it, right? So that you should have an idea what you're trying to modify in your infrastructure. And let's see how many resources will be created, right? So line number 4 in data secrets manager example, secret has not been declared in the root module. Okay, so what does this do? So how are we going to debug that? On RDS, yeah, on line number 4, is it because example has not been declared? Okay, so I think it is not able to find this example. So if you go back to secrets manager secret dot example, I think we do have it, right? So if I go back in here, secrets manager, and then example, Yeah, that's what I think we have used it. Oops, save that. Oops. And then yeah, I think that looks good, but let's try again and see what's going on here. Form apply, sorry, plan. Okay, there you go. Uh, that must be something wrong over there, but I just copy pasted probably some typo or something which did not allow me to plan my infrastructure, but here we go. So that's fine, that looks fine. Now if I scroll up a bit, so if you see, we are planning to add 5 resources now, right? So if I scroll all the way up here, so it is creating a secrets manager secret, which is only known after apply. Yeah, so we're gonna apply and then see how we will know about these ARN and stuff like that. And this is a secret version database instance. You can see we have created these attributes. You can see the KMS ID. You can see publicly accessible. Make sure this publicly accessible is true just for this demo purpose. Okay, so if you look into this publicly accessible to true, this is basically we are telling that we are going to allow this DB instance to be accessed publicly. Okay, or at least from your IP address for now, just to test that your DB instance is working correctly, right? So make sure this is false always, because AWS database instances are meant to be deployed in a private subnets. Okay, so make sure that you deploy these AWS database instances to private subnets, so that only, for example, your applications which are running in EC2 instances or Lambda or something else, so you will simply access your database instances from your private instance. You should never ever allow your database access publicly. Okay, I'm putting this publicly because just to make sure that we will be able to access it locally, so that we are just for the demo purpose. Don't take it too seriously. Okay, make sure it is always false. Okay, um right. So now we have planned our database instance, secrets manager, KMS key, all that stuff. So I'm gonna do Terraform. Okay, let me clear this out. Terraform apply auto approve. So we should actually apply the infrastructure changes right now. So it's going to take about 5 minutes, I think. So let's come back after 5 minutes and see how your infrastructure is created, and we will use the secret manager secret to connect to our database. Okay. All right, so now that the apply is complete, so you can see now that we have created our database instance. So let's go ahead and go back to the console and open up RDS. Okay, let's see if our database has been created successfully, and you can see one database is actually running, which is my database. And click on that database. You should be able to copy the endpoint right here. Okay, and just copy the endpoint right here and save it somewhere. We will be using it in a moment. So also you make sure that this is publicly accessible for now, okay, as we have discussed, so that we will be able to test it. And also there is a security group. So if you go to the security group right here, click on that. I'm using a default security group. Okay, click on that, and if you expand this and edit the inbound rules, and I'm going to show you something. So make sure that you have this entry, which is MySQL or Aurora, and now custom IP address. So basically I have allowed my IP here, okay, so that I should be able to access this IP only from my local machine. Okay, so yeah, I think I've already did this, so there is no need to save the changes. In your case, just choose my IP and save the rules. Okay, so now let's head back to the KMS. Okay, click on the KMS. So we have created our KMS key as well, if you remember. So forget about so if I open up this one, yeah, which looks like our key, which is symmetric key, and click on that, and if you go to tags, yeah, there you go. So this is our KMS key that we have created. So we will be using the single region key. This is not a multi-region key. This is simple single region customer managed key. Okay, so that we will be using this for our secrets manager. So if I go back to secrets manager, our secret must have been created by now. Yeah, RDS database admin 7. So you can see or you can retrieve the secret value, but we're going to retrieve it in a different way from the CLI. But for now, our secret has been set up correctly. Okay, now go back to the RDS. If you click on RDS and databases here, and that's my database. All right, so if you have already copied that, that's fine. Just copy that, and I think I have already just clear this out. I'm gonna make sure that so I think I have tried this in the past to connect. So if you have MySQL installed in your local machine, MySQL, nope, maybe in my ZSH, click on add ZSH, launch. Okay, that's fine. Okay, all right, so how you gonna create how you gonna connect to your MySQL instance? So let me quickly go ahead and open up okay, let me try MySQL dash version. Do I have MySQL installed? Yes, I have MySQL installed. So I'm gonna use MySQL -u admin -host equals my host. Yeah, -p, which should be our password. So where do you get this password from? Okay, let me exit this from here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna type AWS Secrets Manager. So basically we will be using AWS Secrets Manager. So I think it's something like Secrets Manager, get secret value, and then I'm going to use secret ID is RDS admin 7, if you remember that. There you go. Now, yeah, there you go. We have now retrieved our secret. This is our secret string, which we will be using to connect to our database. Okay, so copy that value and paste it somewhere, and then we're going to be using it right now. Exit that, Control C, and then type this MySQL command again, so that you should be able to paste your password. There you go. So now we have connected to our remote MariaDB database, and if you can type some commands like show databases, right, so you can see all your databases, and you can use this command in order to connect to your Amazon RDS database. Okay, so make sure you have you connect to this MariaDB using your Terraform infrastructure, and that should be it. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna exit from this MariaDB, and okay, so I hope you like this video, and also please don't forget to subscribe, and please don't forget to share. And before we end this video, you have the code here, which is AWS RDS Secret Manager. So click on this link. So you should be able to have all these Terraform files that I've used in this demo. Okay, so make sure you you can fork this repository if you want in order to use. So we're going to be adding all the Terraform code in this repository. So yeah, make sure you watch out for this repository for the latest updates. And yeah, there you go. So now you have successfully created your RDS database using Terraform, and also have used Secrets Manager secret, and also you have used the KMS key. All right, so next so we're gonna terminate all these resources that we have just created, right? So in order to terminate that, just simply do Terraform destroy auto approve. That's going to destroy your resources that you have just created, which is I think about 5 resources that you have created. So all those 5 resources will be destroyed. Okay, so we have discussed, so it's going to take some time. I hope you learned something. I hope you like this video, and don't forget to subscribe, share. Please feel free to comment down below in the comment section. And yeah, and thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.